Thecla is a prominent figure in early Christian tradition, particularly in the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla. She is considered a saint and a martyr by the Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. Here's a brief summary of her story. Early life. Thecla was a young noblewoman from Iconium, modern-day Konya, Turkey. She was engaged to marry a man named Thamaris. Conversion to Christianity. Thecla heard Paul's teachings and became a Christian. She broke off her engagement and devoted herself to a life of celibacy and asceticism. Persecution and miracles. Thecla faced persecution from her family and authorities. She was miraculously saved from death several times, including being protected from wild beasts and surviving a fire. Martyrdom. Thecla was eventually martyred in Cilicia, modern-day Silifke, Turkey. According to legend, she was thrown to the wild beasts, but was again protected by a miracle. Legacy. Thecla is revered as a saint and a model of Christian devotion. Her story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history. Thecla's story highlights the themes of faith, courage, and devotion in the face of persecution. Her legacy continues to inspire Christians around the world. The story of Thecla is an ancient Christian narrative that is part of the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla. Here's a more detailed summary. Thecla, a young noblewoman from Iconium, was engaged to marry Thamaris. One day, she heard Paul preaching about chastity, self-control, and eternal life. Thecla was deeply moved by Paul's message and became a Christian. Despite her engagement, Thecla broke off the marriage plans and devoted herself to a life of celibacy and asceticism. Her mother and fiancé were furious, and Thecla was persecuted for her newfound faith. Thecla's mother, Thecla, tried to persuade her to renounce Christianity, but Thecla refused. She was then handed over to the authorities, who put her on trial. Thecla was sentenced to be thrown to the wild beasts in the arena. Miraculously, Thecla was protected from the beasts by a series of divine interventions. She was also saved from being burned at the stake when a sudden storm extinguished the flames. Thecla then traveled with Paul to Antioch, where she faced further persecution. She was accused of being a Christian and was put on trial again. Thecla was sentenced to be thrown to the wild beasts once more, but she was again miraculously saved. Eventually, Thecla arrived in Cilicia, where she was martyred. According to legend, she was thrown to the wild beasts, but was protected by a miracle. She then died a peaceful death, surrounded by a group of female followers. Thecla's story has been interpreted as a testament to the power of faith, courage, and devotion in the face of persecution. She is revered as a saint and a model of Christian devotion, and her legacy has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history. The early life of Thecla is not extensively documented in the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla, but here is what is known. Thecla was born in Iconium, modern-day Konya, Turkey, to a noble family. Her parents were likely wealthy and influential in the city. Thecla was raised in a pagan environment, but her family may have had some connection to Judaism or early Christianity. She was engaged to marry Thamaris, a young nobleman from Iconium. Thecla was known for her beauty, intelligence, and strong will. It's important to note that the Acts of Paul and Thecla is an apocryphal text, meaning it's not considered part of the canonical New Testament. While it provides valuable insights into early Christian traditions and legends, its historical accuracy is not universally accepted. Thecla's early life is mostly significant because it sets the stage for her conversion to Christianity and her subsequent martyrdom. Her noble upbringing and engagement to Thamaris highlight the sacrifices she made for her faith and the challenges she faced as a Christian in a pagan society. Thecla's conversion to Christianity is a pivotal event in her story, as told in the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla. Here's a summary. Thecla heard Paul preaching about Christianity in Iconium. She was deeply moved by his message, particularly his teachings on chastity, self-control, and eternal life. Thecla sat at her window, listening to Paul's sermon, and became convinced of the truth of his words. She broke off her engagement to Thamaris, renouncing her pagan upbringing and embracing Christianity. Thecla's decision was met with fierce opposition from her family and fiancé, who saw Christianity as a threat to their social status and traditions. Despite the pressure, Thecla remained committed to her newfound faith. Even when faced with persecution and danger, Thecla's conversion is significant because it shows the power of Paul's preaching and the appeal of early Christianity, highlights Thecla's courage and conviction in the face of adversity, sets the stage for her subsequent martyrdom and sainthood. It's worth noting that Thecla's conversion is often seen as a symbol of the transformative power of Christianity, as well as the challenges faced by early Christian converts, particularly women, who renounced their social status and family expectations to follow their faith. Thecla's persecution and miracles are a significant part of her story, as told in the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla. Here's a summary. After converting to Christianity, Thecla faced severe persecution from her family and authorities. She was arrested and put on trial for her faith, but miraculously escaped from prison. Thecla was sentenced to be thrown to the wild beasts in the arena, but was protected by a series of divine interventions. Plus, a lioness protected her from a bear. Plus, a cloud of fire drove away a pack of wild beasts. Plus, a group of female martyrs appeared, praying and singing hymns, which calmed the beasts. Thecla was then sentenced to be burned at the stake, but a sudden storm extinguished the flames. She was again arrested and put on trial, but was miraculously saved from being devoured by wild beasts. These miracles and persecutions demonstrate Thecla's unwavering commitment to her faith, God's protection and intervention on her behalf, the power of prayer and community in the face of persecution. Thecla's story has been interpreted as a testament to the enduring strength of faith and the miraculous interventions that can occur when believers are persecuted for their beliefs. Thecla's martyrdom is the final episode in her story, as told in the apocryphal Acts of Paul and Thecla. Here's a summary. Thecla arrived in Cilicia, where she was again arrested and put on trial for her faith. She was sentenced to be thrown to the wild beasts in the arena, but this time, there was no escape. Thecla was mauled by the beasts, but instead of dying, she was transformed into a spiritual being. According to legend, Thecla's body was taken by a group of female followers and buried in a cave. As they mourned her death, a voice from heaven declared, "Thecla, your faith has saved you." Thecla's martyrdom is significant because it marks the culmination of her journey as a Christian martyr. It highlights the ultimate sacrifice she made for her faith. It demonstrates the transformative power of faith, as Thecla's body is transformed into a spiritual being. Thecla's martyrdom has been revered and celebrated in Christian tradition, and she is considered a saint and a model of Christian devotion. Her story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history. Thecla's legacy is profound and far-reaching, inspiring countless generations of Christians. Here are some aspects of her legacy. 1. Saint and model of devotion. Thecla is revered as a saint and a model of Christian devotion, particularly in the Eastern Orthodox and Catholic traditions. 2. Inspiration to women. Thecla's courage, conviction, and independence have made her an icon for women's empowerment and a role model for female leaders in the church. 3. Martyrdom and persecution. Thecla's story has inspired countless Christians to stand firm in their faith, even in the face of persecution and martyrdom. 4. Early Christian tradition. Thecla's story is one of the earliest and most influential accounts of Christian martyrdom, shaping the development of early Christian tradition. 5. Art, literature, and music. Thecla's story has inspired countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history, from ancient frescoes to modern novels and films. 6. Thecla as a symbol. Thecla has become a symbol of faith, courage, and devotion, transcending her historical context to inspire people across cultures and centuries. 7. Continued veneration. Thecla is still venerated today, with many churches and shrines dedicated to her memory, particularly in the Eastern Mediterranean. Thecla's legacy is a testament to the enduring power of faith, courage, and conviction, inspiring generations to come. Here are some key facts about Thecla. 1. Early Christian martyr. Thecla was an early Christian martyr who lived during the 1st century AD. 2. Companion of Paul. According to tradition, Thecla was a companion and disciple of the Apostle Paul. 3. Noble birth. Thecla was born into a noble family in Iconium, modern-day Konya, Turkey. 4. Converted to Christianity. Thecla converted to Christianity after hearing Paul's teachings. 5. Persecution and martyrdom. Thecla faced severe persecution and was martyred for her faith. 6. Miracles and divine intervention. Thecla's story is marked by miracles and divine interventions, which protected her from harm. 7. Venerated as a saint. Thecla is venerated as a saint in the Eastern Orthodox, Catholic, and some Protestant traditions. 8. Influence on early Christianity. Thecla's story had a significant impact on the development of early Christianity, particularly in the Eastern Mediterranean. 9. Apocryphal texts. Thecla's story is primarily found in apocryphal texts, such as the Acts of Paul and Thecla. 10. Symbolism and legacy. Thecla has become a symbol of faith, courage, and devotion, inspiring countless works of art, literature, and music throughout history. These facts provide a glimpse into the remarkable story of Thecla, an early Christian martyr whose legacy continues to inspire people around the world.